Jotunheim, the heart of the network of the gods. Miles of bone, sinew, and synapse, torn from the bodies of dead giants used to feed the machine. It's time to tear it all down. The gods, their words, their works. Ragnarok is coming, and it's you. It's us. A neon Fimbulwinter where we rise up and take the gods down. And it starts here, in Jotunheim. So, you in?
Okay, so Tony in the chat just told me that everything's been muted since we started because it has been. I'm not gonna go back and redo all of that because it is subtitled, so you can read what we have been saying. But this, my people watching, this is a professional ass setup. This is how we do things. Is we accidentally keep them muted, and no one got to hear our lovely voices until B. Tell the people who you are.
Hello, it is I, your non-binary busy bee. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda. I'm a podcaster, a streamer, and currently the community manager for D&D Adventures League. However, unlike Aram, if you ever want to ask me anything D&D related, I will not know the answer. Please do not ask me any questions.
Oh, you set up the wrong person. I've been running games professionally for years. I know nothing.
Oh, you too? Good. That really eases my just guilt over.
If anybody has questions, feel free to ask me. Will the answers be correct? No. But I will answer them confidently. I can tell you that.
They will be wrong and confidently delivered.
Confidence will take you a long way, including to the point where you get to stream a show on One Shot's Twitch channel with your audio muted. Like,
yes,
I have gotten to that point. We're doing fantastic here. Today is episode 4 of In the Bubble, and Danny's not here, and fortunately, Iron Edda Reforged has a way to handle just such a situation. Now, normally, this would be where I would link to itch in the chat, and I would drop the link to the game itself so you can pick it up. I also was going to give a shout out to the TTRPG bundle for trans rights that's going on for Texas, but Itch.io is down right now, and I have a feeling it's because the bundle for Ukrainian support absolutely nuked the site, because it went live, I think, at something like 7:30 this morning and had raised $600,000 in like an hour. And its goal was the goal was $1 million the last time I saw it. So at some point in time today, you are going to be able to load itch, presumably. And you should go and check out the TTRPG bundle for trans rights. You should also check out the bundle for Ukrainian aid. If you want Iron Edda Reforged, this is the way to get it right now, because Iron Edda Reforged is in the bundle for Ukrainian aid. I didn't manage to get anything into the trans rights bundle. Doesn't matter. This is not about my games. Go support both bundles. It's $5 to get into the TTRPG bundle for trans rights. It's $10 to get into the bundle for Ukrainian aid. All of this is super fucking important right now. I am deadly serious. These are two causes that are foremost on my mind right now. Yes, there are plenty of other states in America where there is horrific legislation that is happening. Texas is probably the worst at this point in time, so we're going to focus help where we can and get support into that bundle. The trans rights bundle was over $200,000 the last that I saw, which means that both charities supported get $100,000 each plus. So, gamers have proven time and time again that they can accomplish many and mighty things if they move in unison. And this is a set of causes that I feel there should be no argument against support for. So, when you have the option, when itch recovers itself from the amazing outpouring of support that's happened so far, give it more. That all having been said, we have a game to play today, and we're going to do that. So, in Iron Edda Reforged, when you are down a player, have someone new coming in, you need to do a one-off with new folks because you can't get the group together. We did that in the middle of the podcast. Actually, that's how DJ is familiar with the system. You can play a side story, and side stories are sort of a quick on-ramp to the broader narrative of what's happening with a particular god. So in our case, the god that we are focusing on removing from power is Mimir, and I'm going to load up, there we are. Here is the information that the three of you, the four of us, are going to keep in mind when we answer the one question we're going to be answering. Under Mimir's nose, Archivists resists the one-way flow of information. In little ways, they keep secrets, or in truly brave attempts, They free information from the archive itself. There are even some who have made their ways into the archive with the intent of freeing the giants who serve there as data centers. The solid wall of gated information is fraying, though Mimir suspects nothing. So Mimir is the god of knowledge. He runs the archive, and this, for those who are watching, is a picture of the archive up there in the middle of the screen right now. That is the place that information goes into, but it rarely leaves. And we are going to answer a question together as a group to figure out what bit of this overarching Fall of Mimir plotline we're going to play today. Aram, you are our guest. Would you do me a favor and roll a d6? And you can either roll a physical d6, or in the Discord where we all meet, there's a channel called Playroom, and there is a bot that you can use there.
Awesome. I rolled a 4.
A 4. Here is the question that we are going to answer as a group. You're almost there. You're this close to breaking into the archive. What's the last physical barrier that stands in your way? What is the last digital barrier? So, we're all going to discuss this while I put the question up in the slide so everyone who is watching can see.
Awesome.
Okay, so we got a physical barrier and a digital barrier.
Yes.
Physical barrier.
Mimir's the knowledge, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So
the
one
god
of them,
knowledge.
Yeah. So one of them has to be a puzzle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks.
All right.
I hate it.
So
whether it be physical or digital, that's the question.
What do you want? Do you want that to? Do you want it to be a physical, like a knockout, a wipeout style, like physical challenge, like you must contort your body into, or
100% sold.
So we have to physically pass our bodies through like a physical lock and contort our
we're
frames.
the key.
And, so we
God.
physically are the key. Okay, so there's a physical lock that uses human keys. All right, and what about the digital side? What's waiting on the digital side of this divide?
I feel like a god of knowledge would be very observant.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I assume we're breaking in to deal with this because the god is unaware, and so we have to go fix it.
Yeah. So
right.
Mimir's attention is elsewhere. To give you meta plot knowledge, Mimir is currently focused on a community called the Bubble. He is intent on wiping this community out of Jotunheim, and has taken the fractured remains of the Realms Police Bureau, because Tyr has already fallen. We're playing this post the podcast that we did.
Yeah.
And the police are like now vigilante bands that can kind of be rounded up by any god who cares to exert the power over them. There is a gang that has been inserted into the Bubble, and there is an RPB raid that is scheduled to happen. We found that out last session, that there are days remaining before the RPB enact this raid.
Gotcha.
We don't know why Mimir is focused on the Bubble yet, but he is. But his attention is away, and so this means another cell of the Resistance can work their way into the archive, which is going to be very important for the big plot, because it means that there will be a hole that someone in the main story can exploit, as long as we can get the job done today.
Cool. Okay.
So what's the digital barrier?
The digital barrier against us setting up this basically back door, right?
Against us getting in. Yeah. What's the last?
What if it's a literal door? What if we have to go open a door in order to get this to work?
A digital door?
There's a digital door somewhere, but it actually connects to a door. Like the only way to actually get into this network is to go to that door and physically open it, or to put like a digital key into it.
I would imagine that a giant is guarding it.
Yeah.
Because giants are information beings, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like the door itself, trivial to open. But getting past the giant.
Right.
What you got, DJ?
Oh. So, what if the door is just a like a ruse? Like someone who's trying to get in there, like, yeah, we need to get past this door, but it's not really the door. It's the giant. The giant is the actual door. Once
Nice.
that's like I would assume some kind of trickery afoot would be associated with Mimir in that way.
Passing through the arch of his legs is technically a door, right? Good luck getting through it.
All right. So these are our story hooks, right? We're not building a community for the side story. We are working with these criteria. We are in a position to bypass the physical lock, which means we're probably already inside the archive in some form or fashion. And we have to get past the digital door as well. So with that in mind, we're now going to turn to make characters. And I say that because we need to make characters who are capable of handling this situation, right? We make contextually appropriate people. So the way to make characters, as a reminder for everybody, is we do that through details. Details are short descriptive phrases that are true. They're like flaws, bonds, ideals in D&D if those actually had mechanical teeth, or aspects in Fate if you played a Fate game. And you just need to think of sort of what makes this person who they are and how they interact with the world, because when you roll the dice, you will be using only your details. So just looking at slide 13 is where we're going to put that information. And DJ, you're going to be that first box. B, you're going to be in the middle. And Aram, we're going to put you on the end. Everyone should have editing privileges, so you can put anything in there that you want. The warrior clans, because you will have to pick one of those as well. Those begin on page 28 of the draft document.
Okay.
And as we are doing a live show, if anyone feels like spitballing out loud, please feel free. What do you got, B?
So I'm looking at the hammer, and that's building and shaping. The world is meant to be shaped. Hammers are builders and doers of things.
Yes.
And I really like this idea. I'm hoping one of y'all will lean towards a bone bandit, somebody who can visually connect with like the network. Because I want to break things and put them back together in ways that only make sense to me. Because I think that could be a very useful tool. In what we are trying to do. We are breaking into the archives of a god. This isn't going to take like just open a door. We're going to have to crack open that door. You think that keyhole is going to shape our bodies? We're going to have to like shape the keyhole to fit our bodies. So that is what I am prepared to do as the individual of the Hammer clan.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so drop Hammer in your clan there, and then start layering in some details.
Right.
DJ, what are you thinking?
I was laughing because I had a crazy idea shoot through my head. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then B was like, hopefully someone chooses a bone bonded. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, because I was going to ask Tracy if it's all right if I bring a character back.
Oh.
I think you know who I'm talking about, too.
Now, I don't remember specific details because it has been some time and many characters since. But I assume you are referring to the bone bonded that you played in the side story where you and some others broke out of Tyr's Panopticon.
100%.
Yeah. Do you still have access to that slide deck?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Because if you don't, I do, and we can just copy the information over. That way we don't have to.
Yes.
All right, cool. So let me do a little bit of looking. Oh, because it's just in the regular. It's just in the regular slides from Puppet Strings. So
a game ago, yeah.
Yeah, I can find that real quick. Do.
So details. So Aaron, have you had some time to kind of peek through the warrior clans?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I go Snake because I'm the operative that gets you two in. That's why I'm here. I'm here to get you in. And you guys are here to do the job, but I'm the guy who you're going to meet up with who's going to get you inside.
I like that.
All right. TJ, your box is going to go away there because I have found...
Yes.
What's your name? Oh my god.
Elif Orison.
It's so cute.
Let's get a little more room there. And actually, hang on. move these. Come on.
Yes, editing.
Yes,
The
editing
most
is great.
exciting part.
Just got to get the control points out of the way so you can actually access them when you need them.
Can you explain the good and fair details to me?
Yes. So when you do anything, when you take a risky action in the game, the number next to that detail is the number of dice that you're going to roll.
Gotcha.
Yep. So your excellent detail, you'll always roll 10 dice. Your good detail, you will roll 7 dice. And your fair detail, you will roll 5 dice. And the reason they are like that is because you may find yourself looking at a situation where the right action is non-optimal, and that encourages some creativity, some role-playing, the spending of control points, and so on and so forth.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there is all the information for Eluf Orison.
Awesome.
And, yep, I'm just trimming out the quotation marks because it'll save us a little bit of space. Nice. I would also assume, unless you've done something different with it, you probably don't have a network ankle lock on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't.
Unless you keep it as a trophy or something, or you've like wired it to be some kind of hacking device.
Let's go with that, because I was gonna say it's a piece of technology that was connected to this whole network. So I think they would have taken it and probably taken it apart, studied what they could, and maybe repurposed it, because I'm sure it has a lot of coding in there that they can use to like mimic keys and gain access to certain areas.
Excellent. I've also, now we have a slide 15 that is your bone bonded. I copied the whole slide over. So your bone bonded, for those watching, is Fritjof Skardison, whose details are stop talking and let me punch things. I don't trust them. Can we kill them? And I'm bored. Can we go now?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's that wonderful, massive being of a giant.
Cool. And for gear, Aram, you do not have to put anything in right now if you don't want to. Those can all be sort of filled in situationally as we are playing, because gear, if it helps you, adds 1 die to your pool. If it hinders you, it takes 1 die away from your pool. And it's like, it's like Blades in the Dark, right? I'm in this situation, and here's this thing that I should have. If it's too convenient, then I'll have you spend a control point to justify it.
Okay, awesome.
So would it be a help to talk through what you're thinking for your character and to put your thoughts into some concise details?
Yeah, I have some ideas, but like I'm really hung up on the excellent detail, good detail, fair detail. I'm just hung up on what we're saying there. I'm not quite getting it. I'm sorry.
Like from my POV, so like I'm kind of figuring out. So I've got this character named after, I call them Mo because I can't actually pronounce their name. Hammer Clan, named Hammer. It's very fitting. So like I want the excellent detail. That's got to be the thing that really defines Mo. If I had to roll this, I want it to be the thing that is the easiest to fit into a situation so I have the best chance for success. Now I'm like, what do I know about this character? Not a lot. They have a hammer. Is he any good with a hammer? Who knows? But I'm like, you know what? Hammers break things. But I think Mo, she's gone through a lot of hardship. And like she is heartbroken. So like, well, hammers can fix a lot of things. They can't fix a broken heart. So this character is gonna be very like, fix it, but just crushed when it comes to love. And that now defines a lot of this character that I just kind of come up with on the spot.
Got you. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you. All right.
So I got to think of a good one. My fair details, a broken tool sees much use, but I don't know how. I'm trying to make it so like, oh no, something is broken. Well, I still want to be able to use it in the scene, but it's just going to be like an okay thing. So I hope that's going to be useful. And then a good detail. Oh, my middling one.
So yeah, how are you? Does that help clarify things for you, Ram?
I believe so. I believe so. Tell me what you think about my excellent detail. The shadows hide everything, especially our sins. Is that
Yes, yeah,
okay?
That's exactly in
Wonderful.
keeping, because
All right.
with that sort of, you have, I'm gonna guess, because this is how it is for me when I do this, you have a sense of what that means for that character in your mind, right? It's pretty poetic. It has an actual effective thing of shadows hide everything, right? You can obviously use it to hide.
Right.
But there are situations that have nothing to do with shadows and have everything to do with the bad shit that you've done, where you
Yes.
could easily leverage the same thing and you're rolling 10 dice for it.
Yep. That's what I was aiming for.
Fantastic. You hit the nail right on the head.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
good. I feel better about this now. Okay, good deal.
Yeah. And while you all are doing this, the website of Itch is back up. And so I have posted the links to the 2 bundles that are going right now as an update, just because I think it's fun. The TTRPGs for trans rights in Texas is at $258,000 of its new $300,000 goal. Its initial goal was $5,000 when it launched a couple days ago, so it has blown the doors off of it. And then the bundle for Ukraine, which launched, I don't know, 3 hours ago, is it $845,000 of its $1 million goal.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, B, I had an idea for your good detail.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dang it! Now I just forgot it.
Come on,
Son of
brain.
a
Pick
biscuit.
it up.
It's a ska song now.
There we go. I got it. All right. Tempered steel seals the deal.
Ooh,
Uh-huh.
it rhymes. Thank you. I love a good rhyme.
That way, anytime you're tenacious or focused on something and you're determined, boom.
Yes.
I really like what you're doing there, Ram, and I
Yeah.
really like always have
working
the high
on it.
ground as the
Yeah.
ending of that.
Yeah.
I love that. I was just watching some Star Wars last night. Star Wars Visions. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. That whole umbrella lightsaber thing was just too cool.
Love with that. And then it was detachable because it powered the umbrella part. Like,
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. I love creative weapons.
Me too.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna leave my gear as is.
Okay. Gear, a hammer.
It's in the name.
It's a me, Hammer Bro.
It's a me.
Just need one more. I'm sorry. I'm
That's
struggling
okay.
with one more.
No,
Okay.
this is part of playing the game, is the thing, right? Like, it takes time to think of stuff, especially when it's the first time you've been asked to do it. So
Yeah.
absolutely no stress here.
Okay.
The beauty of it, I was looking at everyone's character and I came across Aram's character. Like, I was reading everything and I was like, yeah, that's great. And like, I guess my mouse went past his marker and it said anonymous cheetah. And I was like, damn, that's a good detail.
Oh, that's cute. Aram, do you want to tell us a little bit about how do I say your name again?
Oh, sorry.
Or sorry, I said
Eluf?
Aram, my brain was thinking DJ.
That's okay.
Yes, so Eluf is
Okay.
he's just a really kind of withdrawn, quiet individual who tries to take in every detail he can.
Mhm.
He loves studying, reading about everything because he feels more alive in a book or online in that cyberspace than he does in person, like in the real world. So he's always got his face into a screen or a book, and his bone bonded is giant is a little different. He's not cool with the whole reading and all that. He
Oh
just
my
wants
God.
to punch things until they stop moving or do what they want or do what he wants them to do.
Can your
So
bone bonded read?
yeah, sure. Will it be the right thing? No.
Oh my god, I love them. What's their name? The Bunbunded.
Oh, it is Frietjol. Frietjol Skardison.
Frityol with a Y in the middle.
Yes.
Frityol. Okay.
With a J, but yeah.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
a Y.
it's
yeah.
on
like
it's on
pronounced
slide
like a Y,
15
yeah.
if you want to take a look at the
Oh,
the
thank
spelling.
you.
Frietjol.
You're welcome. All right, and
Yeah.
it looks like we have a fair detail for Rune as well. That is Aram's Snake Clan member. So we have Aloof, we have Mjolnir, and we have Rune. And because side stories they lack the other connected plot trappings of a mainline story, so we're just going to get right into it. You all have worked your way into the archive. You've gotten past a bunch of like preliminary defenses, both digital and physical. I would like each of you to give sort of one detail about what you've had to get to so far before we get to the lock, the physical lock, because that's going to be the first thing that we have to traverse.
I guess so. The only if our illustrious scene maker can just set one detail for me. What does the outside of the archives look like? Is it underground? Is it above ground? Is it like kind of like my background? Is it?
So I'm gonna put the art of the archives back up on the screen of the stream there. So basically, the public facing access is a massive courtyard with like these rune scribed pillars, and the entrance is this yawning mask of Mimir's traditional face. All those buildings on the side and everything that you see, that's all the archive too, right? It's not just this one thing. It is a complex of buildings as well as underground chambers, right? So it is vast. So you have a lot of options as to sort of where this access point is being handled. I think that it being underground probably makes the most sense because that's where it's easier to be clandestine.
Sure.
So let's go super tropey. I think you broke in through the sewers, right?
Yes.
So you found like the Ghostbusters-esque manhole cover from Ghostbusters 2, and you started drilling down, and you found like a conduit of neurons that is like a literal back door. So you had to work your way through like a passage of neurons and synapses, following that trunk to one of the spots that is more easily breached. So from that point, that's where you got to, and then now you're in front of this physical lock that is going to be extremely comedic to bypass. I'm very much looking forward to it. So each of you, one detail about what the traversal from the neuron trunk to where you are now. What did you have to overcome? What did you encounter?
It's gross down here. It's
Viruses.
it's like a sewer plus, bio stuff. Like it is super gross down here.
Around the internet there's been going this cute little gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
I think there's a less cute version, the classic gelatinous cube that's down here. But like the essence of it is it's just like a cubed virus. So one touch and you will fall ill, physically or digitally. Depends on the cube that you touch, the blue ones or the green ones. So we have to dodge these and or kind of shuffle them out of the way.
Yeah. It's almost like preparation to form the keys we're going to have to form. Getting around these blocks very carefully, not touching them. Yeah.
I want to also dive into the Ghostbuster-esque theme of this sewer, and there should be a massive flowing river of liquid, but it's like a what's the word? Like some kind of like bioelectric current.
Cool.
So it moves those neurons and everything down through the pathway, but it's an actual like not really liquid, but not really solid either, somewhere in
viscous
between. Yeah, like a
brain
viscous kind of protective
fluid.
layer around it.
It's
that
cranial
helps.
fluid.
That's the
Yeah.
word.
Right.
Whoa.
Gross. But
That
we
also
like,
helps to how gross it is. Yes.
right. But like we'll see, and we'll see little flashes of energy going back and forth through it, and it kind of sparkles off, the stone walls and everything.
Oh,
Awesome. So yeah, it's really gross down here. There
Yeah,
are
but pretty. It's like those worms. It's like those glow worms with the gross butts, and they hang them
Yeah, yeah.
out and try and catch things. It's like, ooh, gross, but pretty.
But pretty. If you were not like fighting for your life or trying to end the rule of a heinous tyrannical god, you might be able to stop and enjoy the view a little bit.
Yeah.
But there are these blue and green. I think there's also, I mean, they're of every color, right? They're red and orange. There's just these cubes of brain stuff that are infectious to the touch. And you've got to contort and wrap your bodies around all of these things to try and get to the point where you can actually get to the lock. And throughout, there are these like channels of electrified cranial fluid that, like, the construction down here isn't really great. So like there might be times you put a hand on a wall and like a brick shifts and the stuff just starts seeping out because it's a tunnel of it is on the other side.
Yeah.
So that is that's lovely and disgusting and beautiful all at once.
Very textured.
Yeah.
So here is the lock itself. The way this works is that this is considered to be, I just had it up in the document, but I believe the designation is a major threat.
Yes.
Which means that it gets, there we are. Yes, it is a major threat. This is an encounter that is sure to leave a mark on those involved, possibly at risk of their lives. RPB enforcers, corp controlled drones, gang members armed with weapons and magics, or mythical creatures are sort of the level of things. B, for reference, the Hand of Tyr was a major threat when you all fought it in Puppet Strings.
So what's the big deal?
But that went well. Everybody was fine after that.
Yeah, totally. But the lock itself, that means that there are
I'm sensing sarcasm.
There are 2 boxes per player involved. So that means that you all have to mark this thing 6 times to bypass what's going on with it. And I'm just going to get these boxes arranged. And
this lock has 6 pins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If we miss even one, our lives are forfeit. Be careful.
And as usual with this game, I need you all to give me a detail each about the lock itself. Keeping in mind the criteria that it has to be bypassed physically, like it will present you with an opening that you have to contort your body through.
Yes. And once in there, if you do it wrong, there's consequences. There's spikes or something. There's like you have to physically wedge yourself into this really claustrophobic space. And if you mess it up, he'll chomp you.
Yep. So what is the first detail? Actually, I think that might be there are hazards up for incorrect actions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Increasing hazards for incorrect actions. First one might be a little shock. Second one might be worse. Third one, increasingly lethal.
Okay.
Consequences.
Ooh, I have one, but it's not going to be fun. And I'm sorry.
This one wasn't fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
very worried now.
So I think that when all the, proverbial pins are pressed and the lock goes to, verify or begin unlocking, that it sends a current that must hit every pin. So it can't be like, oh, I hit these 2 pins and then you hit those 2 pins, because it has to be something that connects them all. So I think that we all have to be like, we have to activate our 2 pins, but also all be touching so that that current can hit everything.
Right. We all have to hold it at the same time.
But also like be touching one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I've got one hand here, 1 foot on your shoulder. Like we're all trying to make the link. Yeah.
What's that polka dot game that people
Yeah, it's
play?
like Twister.
Twister?
That's the one.
Yeah, it's electrified
What's the
Twister.
polka dot game?
What's
That's
the
my favorite
unsexiest version of Twister we can think of? It's
Right.
this.
Whoa, I don't know.
Oh,
That
dear.
danger adds a level of sexy, so I don't know.
We're covered in goob and risk electrocution. I'm sure this is somebody's kink, but
I was about to say.
still.
Is it ours? I don't know.
Would you focus, please?
I'm sorry, it's distracting. B, what's your detail?
Gosh. Then the last detail. So we're in it. We're threat of physical pain. We must connect ourselves together while pushing the pins, presumably at the exact same time. I think the final thing is, when this is supposed to be unlocked, what happens is like the water level, spinal fluid level, rises in the room temporarily to wash through the lock. So we have to survive not drowning in that, really.
So once we're the lock, we're then flushed out.
Yeah. We better hold on tight.
Right.
Oh, it's in my mouth.
Yeah, blah. It tastes like oh god, what would it taste like? Honestly, probably just burnt toast. So nothing good.
It tastes like a
Yeah.
stroke.
I'm sorry.
If burnt
not
toast
good.
was slimy and would linger in your mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there
I don't
is,
want to play
I
this
think,
game anymore.
I'm out.
there is, I think, not as much that is narratively compelling about like illustrating what each of the 6 pins is. Because what really we have to do is we have to have 2 successful checks from each of you, or I should say, we need to have enough successful, because 6 is the total, and then you have to not drown, which is kind of like not part of the lock itself. It's kind of a post facto hazard.
Yeah.
And the same goes for all the pins being linked. So yeah, we need to have 2 successful checks from each of you. What I want you to do is, without describing them, right? You don't need to like go into detail about the actual contortions that you need to make or anything. I want each of you to think about the pins that are in front of your character, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fix them in your head. Visualize the 2 of them. And then once you've got that, I want you to state what the 2 difficulties you have to meet are, keeping in mind that a 1 is something trivial that anyone should just be able to accomplish, right? And this is the number of hits that you need on your roll, which is hits or 5s or 6s. And a 10 is something that a god would struggle to accomplish, right? So you've got this whole range. And I'm not going to gainsay you what you say the difficulty is, right? This is what you see for your character that you have in front of you. And then sort of all at once, we're going to make those rolls and we'll resolve them individually per player. And we'll talk about whether you take success at a cost or whether you have glitch dice or so on and so forth. Because you may glitch on the first roll and have those dice affect the second roll and so on and so forth. So just take a moment, think to yourselves real quick about what you see in front of you, given the panoply of things we've described. And then in 15 seconds, let's say we're going to have 15 seconds of pure silence on the stream.
No. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm ready?
Then that will translate into the energy you bring to your character. So everyone visualize, and here we go.
But keep it inside.
In front of these
I'm
3
counting 15 seconds of silence, B.
Fine, I'll do it. I'll survive.
I love this. I said 15 seconds of silence, and not a fucking one of you is quiet.
No.
That's amazing.
Hard ass.
So-
Shame, B.
well,
It's a shame. You need to learn how to follow
Quiet?
those quiet time.
I did that
you
on
know.
purpose because we're also conditioned to fill silence on a stream.
Yes.
That I wanted to just let their. Okay, here we go. 15 seconds of silence starting now. Go B.
Oh, that was so long. Okay.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
In front of us. So not only is this keyhole not floor level, it is up above. Now, because a body has to be the one to fit in this, I don't think it was created with the intent for like bodies to fit in it. I think the original key was just so multi-limbed in all different directions that like limbs can kind of make it work. So the first one that oh god, Mo decides, it's one where they have to like put their arm through, but then their elbow has to bend in that direction, and bones don't really bend in that direction. So like they contort their body a little bit, and now they're, if they had the ability, they would be prone with their arm backwards. And then the one above is too long to reach the pin with their other hand. But it is easier. It's just they don't have the physical length to be able to make the two work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the difficulty for your first action?
It's not horribly difficult. Where did my character sheet go? There I am. A 3 or a 4.
Okay. Cool. Let's see it. What detail are you going to use?
Gosh, I mean, probably tempered steel seals the deal, because like this is determination. This has to be done. I also have a. Oh, I don't have something I can use. I thought I did. To pull together an automaton. There's automatons in this setting?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, not using any of that. What I will be doing, I still will make the roll, but like the determination is like Mo then pulls out their hammer, turns it around so like she's not holding the hilt, like he's holding the hammer part, and then with that, that's like the reach that can make, hopefully, as long as I pass this roll, that can make that little touch to the pin. So let me give you that roll. That was a fair detail and a gear. So that's going to be an extra dice that I could add. I'm not using any of my hammer stuff just because I don't quite find it. Well, I guess I am using a gear. Gosh, you know what? We'll just go with 6. I'm not in the right chat.
So you've got 8 dice to get the 4 hits.
Oh, thank you. 8d6. Go. Not one whole hit.
So you got 1. You have the option, as always, to spend a control point to re-roll those misses and to have the 6s explode on the re-roll, or you can take success at a cost, which would give you 3 glitch dice, because that's the difference.
Yeah, I really want this. I'm gonna take a control point.
Okay.
Using. Oh.
Remember, it can be any detail in the room too, right? So if there's something else down here in this environment that helps you, it's any detail, not just on your character sheet.
So there was a little bit of spinal fluid left over. And it's
around.
like, it's just the right amount of like slidiness, like whoop, and like that gives me like the extra push
Was it like
that I need.
Like a glob stuck to the haft of the hammer from picking it up, and it just sort of like.
That'll do.
It's gross and fantastic.
All right, 7d6 to get 3 more hits, and 6s explode on this one.
Thank you. 76. I'm afraid to look. 1,
2 explosions.
3. 2 explosions.
And 2 explosions, and that is important because if you happen to double up the number of successes that you get, you mark 2 boxes.
Right.
No luck.
No luck. Okay. So you didn't double it up, but you did get the requisite number of hits. So your first action goes off clean, right? We marked down one box on this track, and that is all good to go. What is... so we don't focus on... I want to bounce focus around. So I said we're going to do them 2 in a row, but we'll come back to... we'll come back to Mjolnir after we see what Eluf has to do for their first action.
All right. Out of all of these locks, Eluf was given the 2 easiest because, you know, she's an old person and barely, just this frail individual. So he walks over and they're extremely easy, but he's not flexible anymore. And so they're pretty difficult. The first one,
that's what having the gender of a dusty tomb means, huh?
Yeah. So the first one, he like kicks off his shoe and shoves his foot in sideways, and then the other one, he has to reach up and just bend in and kind of like backwards like that while holding their hand out to touch somebody to make sure that connection is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, as they're doing this, you guys hear all sorts of snapping and popping.
It's
and
like a
for
bowl
minute,
of Rice
there are-
Krispies just got tossed with cranial fluid.
At a point, it sounds like somebody's sitting on a bag of chips.
Oh my god.
So yeah, there's all that, and you just hear, no, yeah, that's about, yeah, that's right. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Oh, there's so much in pain.
Can you reach my foot?
I can't even turn my head. I think so.
Okay, I need you to reach my foot.
So I think the 2 challenges would be the first one, which is like staying in or bending in those positions. And then the second one, since they're unable to move their head, would be to try and find someone to grab onto to make that connection.
Sure. Yeah. So what's the difficulty of the first one? We'll do the first one first, then we'll move to Rune, and then we'll circle back around. And
I would say, I mean, relatively speaking, I would say the first one would be a 3.
Okay.
And then the second one not significantly harder, but definitely harder than that.
What detail are you going to use for the first one?
Oh, yeah.
What you got?
I was like, wait, conflicts are like relation. That's not me. That's not me. I think I want to say time is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that feels right.
But I'm also looking at my abilities as the bone bonded.
Nothing interacting with the network at this level, so I don't think the bone bonded has anything pertinent to bring to the party.
Fantastic. So yeah, I'll do the time is relevant. Your choices are the feature you seek.
7 dice to get 3 hits.
Well, I was like, good God, 6 hits. Okay, so let's do this. Come on. Only 7, 6. I can't really. No, I mean, no, that wouldn't have worked. Ugh.
Oh,
baby.
1, 2, 3, 6, 6, 6. They don't explode on this one. But you hit it. You nailed it. You got all of your aging bones contorted around in the right way. Okay, I got this one. And then you're waiting for someone to reach out a hand, right?
Yeah.
Or a foot.
I think. Let me move it up a little. I'm at the bottom. Move it to the right. Move it to the.
My shoe is only so okay. No,
I'm
kicking.
Your shoe hit me.
Well, grab it.
It's on the ground. It's too far. It's too late. It's too late.
All right.
Okay.
While they're working that out, Rune.
Yeah.
What do you have in front of you?
So I'm seeing them struggle to reach each other. There's a point in the center. They're all doing their individual unlock thing, but in the center, there's these 2 golden bars, and they meet like a centimeter apart, and they have to stay exactly aligned. If they pop out during this whole operation, it's over. So the only way for me to do this is to use both hands. to keep them perfectly still, to not shake, to just focus as hard as I can. And I'm doing the splits with my legs straight out. I've kicked off my boots and I'm just stretching each toe as far as I can to make contact and be the bridge in between us.
Okay. What detail are you using to do that, and what's your difficulty?
I think I've gone way up. I have climbed so far deep into this machine and gone all the way to the top, and I'm in like, so I'm like up and down. So I'm going to use the always have the high ground.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay.
Fantastic.
All right, cool. I think it's pretty difficult.
Okay.
Not like super god difficult, but like tough.
Okay, so somewhere around like, keeping in mind that you're bringing 7 dice to the party here, so
Right.
something like a 6.
Yeah,
what-
that seems
All right,
seems
so
fair.
so you've got 7 dice to get 6 hits.
Okay, 7D.
Good.
And I would say that I'm prepared for this. So
Okay.
a little bit of gear I have is this magnet, right? So I'm able to like I could I hold it still and then slide this little magnetic disc in between them, and it helps stabilize the bars.
Nice.
Okay.
Can I also help with my piece of gear? The where is it? The cipher book. I would have like done all the research I can and like gone over it multiple times with them as to how to make sure that, you know, like gone over the layout of how to keep that even and the best way to go about it without, and letting them know you cannot let them differ at all. It
Yeah.
has to be that.
You've got
just kinda,
pages
like,
of
beat it
notes
into the-
about
oh, yeah.
bar tension and everything else, and I'm just like, I'm trying to balance a magnet.
Okay, you can do that, but you will not be able to use the cipher book for your own action on
That's
the
fine.
next. Okay, so Aram, you get to add 2 other dice to your pool. So now you've got 9 to get 6.
Let's see what happens. That looks pretty good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Holy shit! That is the best roll
Yes.
that we
Ever.
have seen. Oh
I will
my
warn
god,
you, I am lucky. Just in
Screenshot that. Oh
general
my
with
God.
rolling.
that's
I'm lucky.
fantastic. Everything was a 5 or a 6 except for 2 dice.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
amazing.
All right, I'll take my cipher book back then.
All right, so yeah, you do this. You up there, you do the splits. You're hanging out. You've got your hands hanging down, and the thing is perfect. The magnet is right there. Everything's stable. Everything's aligned. It's now time for all of you to touch. So, Mole or Mo, Mjolnir. What's the difficulty going to be for you to get to Rune, right? Because you're on one side, Rune's in the middle, and
Yeah.
because you two were trying to like do the thing, and then Rune sort of slipped down in between you two.
Perfect.
So to keep your shit aligned, keeping in mind that you are holding onto your hammer and have the head of it in your hand, and the haft is like slimy gooped to this connection. What's the difficulty going to be for you to make it to Rune?
Well, it's all about my little kicky legs. It's kind of what I have available right now.
Yeah.
I don't like. I think if it was me trying to reach Aloof, it would be a lot more difficult because we had that scene where we just realized like Aloof can't move. She has no flexibility. But with Rune, I just like toe tap the toe a little bit and just like strap. And I think like a 3 would probably be a good enough. It's just about like you really got to flex those muscles that have not been used in a long time. I'm a body person, I got a hammer.
I'm going to suggest a 4 just because of the lack of control you have over the slime on the end of the haft of the thing. Like that's trying to keep that in place is really the issue.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. So what detail are you going to use?
crap. I would like to try and justify a hammer can break anything except hearts.
Yeah.
But I have to,
I mean, well, you're using the hammer itself. You are literally using a hammer to try and keep that up there. So go for it. Yeah, 10 dice. You don't have to work hard to justify stuff in this game. As long as I mean, it has the word hammer in it. Come on.
Oh goodness, I'm so afraid to roll. I'm never gonna get anything like that last roll.
I have faith.
That was just so beautiful. I'm afraid to look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You
There
got
we
it.
go.
Okay. So
I'm gonna take success at a cost.
you cannot. Oh wait, 6. You had no. It was only 4 hits. You surpassed
I
what
hit
you
it.
needed.
For some reason, I thought I needed more.
No,
I mean,
no.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you got it completely. So
that
your
toe.
your
Ugh.
foot tips over and like it's right next to Rune's foot, right? Because we have to leave something for Rune to do on Rune's action. So it's
Yes.
like you're in position. Now, Aloof, what do you need to do to get to Rune?
I don't know. I can't see anything. So I'm just gonna be kind of flailing out there. Let's see.
Oh
That's
God,
might be difficult.
I've got a pitch for you if you want.
Yeah. Oh, please.
I think the difficulty is going to be a 6.
Yeah.
But you can use a fool claims to know everything the wise know they never will because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I don't. Yeah, I can admit that. So yeah, that works. I like that.
And I think you can also employ your gear because the network ankle lock, I think, can provide an extra point of contact, or it has like an EMF field around it
Nice.
that can count for completing the circuit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So you can roll 11 dice for 6 hits.
Yeah. So it'll let even if I'm not touching, if I'm close enough, it'll still allow that arc.
Yeah,
To
your
pass through.
your success at a cost may mean that you need a lumbar realignment when you're done, but
that's kind of, I think that's going to happen regardless. But all right, so 11.
11 for 6.
Oh, yeah. All right. Come on, hold on. I'm gonna touch Aram's picture just to get some good luck. There we go.
Oh, come on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
It worked.
I told. That's it. See, just a little rub goes the whole way. That's it. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, jeez.
So there's some struggling, and she's trying her hardest, and then moves a little too far one direction, and you hear a pop, and it just like the leg hits somebody, and it's like yeah, I did it. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah.
All right, Rune. It's up to you. You're in the middle. You have to
Yeah.
maintain the connection. And it's one of those things like, yes, it's like an electrical current, but it has to verify every pin. So
Yes.
they're both real close to you. Touching, probably not that big of an issue. Holding on to everything and maintaining the connection is the trick. So
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like when you're trying to hold 3 things or 4 things. If you add one more thing, you're going to drop something because your
Yep.
brain can't keep track of all of them. So I'm trying to track like 5, 6 things, and it's very difficult.
And what detail are you going to use for, I don't know, what do you think difficulty-wise too?
So I would say this. I would say it's hard.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would say that during it got a little harder because the lights go out. And that would normally be a problem. Like it was an unexpected thing. But for me, that's actually better. So I can work better in the dark, but it's a
Yeah.
super hard roll.
It's like closing your eyes, right? You're eliminating the visual distraction and just keeping in mind where everyone is. And okay, cool. So, and are you using your snake ability to send the lights out?
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I sense that I'm always looking for something that's gonna scan us or find us, and I see a little laser scan starting, and I'm like, uh-oh, and I just lights out.
Fantastic. So the lights go out. This difficulty is going to be an 8, I think,
I
Yeah.
was gonna say
because
7 or 8, yeah.
because the other two didn't know this was going to happen, and they've got to
Right.
maintain, and you've got to get linked up with them. But you obviously can use Shadows Hide Everything because that's the whole
My
thing.
only warning is it's going dark, and then
What?
just shadows just emanate from me, just slide around corners and fill these voids that we've pressed ourselves into.
Okay. 10 dice for 8
Think-
hits.
Think of me as Damian Wayne pretending to be Batman. A little 5'6" shit who talks with this deep, gravelly, fake voice all the time. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. How many am I
Can I help?
rolling?
Can I help?
10. No, you are maintaining your own stuff at this point.
No,
Near-
I mean like, well, my idea was like the ankle lock. If it could like give like a little pulse to like help give an idea as to what
you
area
used
to
it.
go?
You used it on your previous roll.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. This
Sounds
is
good.
this is all on
I
Rune at
wanted
this
to
point in
help.
time.
I
I know you
know,
do.
I can't help either.
I love the impulse, but the story does not support it.
10d6, yeah.
10d6 for 8 hits.
All right. Oh, that doesn't look good.
1,
No.
2,
Nope.
3. So
That's not good.
here are your options.
Yeah.
You can spend a control point to highlight a detail in the room on your sheet from another person, what have you, to re-roll your misses. And on the re-rolls, 6s explode. So they will keep, as long as you roll 6, you just keep rolling them.
Right.
Or you can take success at a cost. That would mean you get 7 glitch dice. Glitch dice do not automatically mean anything bad. Glitch dice simply have to be rolled as a separate pool on your next roll.
Right.
And any glitch dice that come up as hits mean consequences.
That's kind of fun. But I think for
Right.
the first mistake, I'll go ahead and spend a control point.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
detail are you going to highlight to do that?
Walk me through that. I'm sorry.
So basically, there's something about you, something
Right.
about one of your companions, something about the environment that lets you dig deep and do better.
Perfect. All right. I screwed up. And there's a moment where they just become unaligned and the magnet drops straight down. And there's this heavy, loud clang as it hits the center. And then there's a rumbling. And the section I'm working with starts to close. And I'm just like, Mo, get your hammer up here. Get it up here right now. So I need
Okay.
them to put the hammer in there to stop that from closing so we can finish this off.
And the
What I-
slime stretches like a thick rope of snot across the whole thing. Okay, so you get to re-roll your misses. You got 3 successes, so you can roll 7d6. You are looking for 5 more hits.
Come on.
You gonna roll, Rom?
Oh, I'm rolling. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting here like, where's the dice roll gonna happen?
The tension was palpable.
I thought B rolled those. I'm so sorry.
No, it's you. It's all you.
It's okay. I'm just sitting here
I really
staring.
enjoyed that.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
We
waiting
both
for
have
the
our
dice
hands
to
up.
roll themselves.
Sorry, it's 7d6, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
1, 2, 3. 2 of those are 6s.
Yes,
Those 2
okay.
explode. So you
So
are now at
2d6.
6 total for 8 hits.
Okay, then I rolled 2d6
Uh-huh.
more. Okay, one
Come
second.
on.
Sorry. Come on.
One more.
one-
roll that.
one
roll
more
that
six.
6 again.
Oh, yes, it's explode.
Okay, come on. Wait, I can't type. Sorry.
When the pressure's on, I can never type.
Uh huh.
Ah!
So-
close.
It comes at a cost. You are gonna take 1 glitch die. So
Yeah.
you can note that down on the here. Let me make a space for it because this is formatted a little rude. If you don't hit Shift Enter, the line breaks are all
Destroy
messed
everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I frequently do that.
up. So glitch dice. You've got 1 right now. Not the worst thing in the world.
Sure.
What's the narrative cost? Like what happens that leaves something with you that you have to do to pull this off?
Yeah. So, like, what physical cost?
Physical, mental, I mean, whatever makes
Right.
the most sense for the story.
Let's do mental. I'm shaken because, like, I'm wedged in here and this thing is closing on me and it's getting like this was tight to begin with, but I'm having to like mentally be in a place where I trust that Mo will get the hammer in there to stop this and stay where I am. And so I have to like for a full minute watch this thing lower towards me, and I'm just fighting my own brain not to just run out of here as fast as I can. I'm pretty shaken after that.
Okay. So the hammer makes contact and Mo has it out in a shaking hand, and you hear doom, like this, almost like a temple bell sound, like runs through the whole room, and it just maintains that tone the whole time. And the first pin lights up green, the second pin lights up blue, the third pin lights up yellow, the fourth pin lights up red, the fifth pin lights up purple, and the last pin glows the same off-white color as the spinal fluid, because when all of the pins lock, the mechanisms drop away and you all sort of like It's not a bad fall. It's a little bit bigger for Rune, but you
Yeah.
all are on the floor, and then chunk, 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 chunk. 4 vents open up, and the entire room begins to be flooded with cranial fluid.
And I pull out my inflatable raft and pull the ripcord.
And that's where we're going to pause for a 5-minute break since we are well past that time. We will see what happens with the raft and the ripcord and the cranial fluid when we get back, where y'all know what's going to happen. You're going to fight a giant. It's going to be
Hell yeah.
fantastic.
Yes.
So I'm going to mute us down, get the BRB on, and we will be back in 5 minutes, everybody. So when we left you before the break, we had the physical lock of Mimir be picked physically by the contortions and stretches and made connections of the 3 actual physical bodies that were involved in this. And when the lock successfully unlocked, 4 vents opened up and a deluge of cranial fluid swept across the floor. It is flowing to clear the room and essentially, well, you don't know this is happening as players right now, but as people, it's making an arena for your challenge against the digital portion of the lock. But first, this rush is happening. So everything is sort of flowing all towards you. And it doesn't look like it's going to wash you out of the room necessarily if you fail this. But what we're setting up for is that if you do not handle this situation well, then your character is going to be carrying glitch dice into the encounter with the giant, which is probably less than fantastic, right? So across the board, this is going to be a 6, right? That everyone needs to succeed against.
Okay.
Given your because you're all in the same context, you've kind of been dropped down, you're all kind of prone, and you all are sore or at a joint or not feeling great after having to stretch to fulfill the locks.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 6. Each of you pick a detail to use to resist that, and then roll your die pool, and we'll talk about how many you got. And then Aram, you also have a glitch die to roll, which is a separate.
Right.
It's just a separate 1d6 roll from everything else.
Okay. Does the raft help at all?
Does the raft help at all? So if your piece of gear, that one is one of those pieces of gear that reads suspiciously conveniently to me.
It does.
So you can have the raft and it can help, but it's going to cost you a control point.
I'm going to spend it.
Okay.
Because my guy is that asshole who is really well prepared. He is like a little Batman, right? But he's told you nothing. He just has it. And like as this wave is crashing down, he just has this little shit-eating grin on his face and whips it out.
And control points nominally are worth like a couple of dice. So you are going, because of the spend, even though it is convenient, it's going to, contextually, it's pretty appropriate. So it's going to grant you 3 extra dice on this roll.
All right.
Alternatively, because you're all close to each other, you can share those dice out if you want
that
to.
one. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This raft is for everyone. I mean, technically, it's really only size for one person, but in a pinch.
All right. So that's going to be 1 bonus die for you, 1 bonus die for Mo, and 1 bonus die for Elif then, in addition to what you all have going on. So we'll start with Elif. What are you rolling to resist this there, DJ?
Well, let me see, because this is to the floating and the goodness. I mean, I want to pitch my excellent detail again, because at this point I'm just going with the flow.
I can also make you a counter pitch if you would like.
I'm all ears.
If you choose to summon the bones right now, if your giant is like, no, I can handle this, then you don't have to make a roll at all, because you're just going to be standing up while this shit washes around your ankles.
Right.
And let me phrase it this way. Fritjolf has been like just sort of hanging on in the back of your head because there's nothing to punch. When the vents open up, you hear him say, "Something is coming," in like that portentous tone. So I'm just putting it out there. You do not have to do this. It's just a narrative option for you.
Okay, my question then, because I'm not too familiar with the bone giant.
Yeah.
I mean the bone bonding. Is this like like summoning the giant? Is that like a once per scene thing? Because I don't want to be like, I summon the giant so I don't drown, and then the big fight comes and I'm like throwing rocks.
Have to go away.
No. So summoning the bones is, and it's actually for this particular way of the bone bonded. It's called the living network, and
Okay,
it is
so
it is a once per session ability.
Okay.
And it says when the scene ends, right? But I am saying narratively, this is the start of the scene that is the fight with the giant, right?
Okay.
So you are not that there's nothing fun story wise about you not having the bones out for the giant.
Yeah.
So if you summon them now, you're just going to have a giant around you when a giant shows up.
Okay. So I think the way it is it's the water or the fluid
Yeah.
starts
Gross.
coming in, starts flowing in, and since Aloof was at the bottom already, I think they already kind of just like splash in it, and that moment of them being like, the bone bond is like, no, let me out now. And it's just like, yeah, and doesn't see the raft that was thrown out there,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like places their hands and feet on like firmly on the ground and starts to try and, I guess like to release the giant, try and pulls whatever starting out loose components that they can find in close to them to start forming this giant.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the wires here, a broken piece of something there, a pipe, this and that starts coming towards Aloof and starts attaching itself, the giant starts to come out more and get stronger. So then you guys see kind of panels start to just bend, and you see like buttons being ripped off of different like displays. And then as that happens more and more, you start to see actual panels come off the ground and the walls, and that stuff just starts being ripped off. And it kind of looks like, at first it looks like a black hole.
Yeah.
It looks like just everything's being like Aloof kind of just curls up, and everything just starts flying towards her, and it just starts hitting, just doom, 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 doom. And then slowly, like after everything collides, you just see a hand come out and then hit the ground, and another one, like as it's coming out, it's forming, and then the second one, and start to pick itself up. And as it's picking itself up, you see the torso start to form, and then the legs start to form, and then it finally stands up, and you look like it looks up, and you see Aloof's face, but then that all like the body starts to shift, and pieces from that come and coalesce around the head, and then it just forms the giant right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Neat.
And if you stretch up, the giant notices that the ceiling of this space is tall enough for it to reach its arms all the way up and still not hit the top. That's a very tall person moment that I feel very deeply. But it's also an indicator that this room is designed for things of size.
Right.
As that is happening, as the black hole is accreting all of this physical matter around it, the cranial fluid is like breaking around it. That does not slow its progress toward the other two of you because it's coming from all sides. So, Rune, you've got the raft out.
Yeah.
You've got to get 6 hits.
Yeah.
What of your abilities or your details are you going to use?
Rising tide lifts all boats. I'm going to gain some higher ground.
I liked it. You love to see it. 8 dice for 6 hits.
All right.
And you have a glitch die to roll.
Oh, okay. Well, that's already bad. So I have a 5 and a 6. So that's
Okay.
2. And I'll roll my glitch die. And the glitch die misses.
Cool. Yeah. So nothing bad happens from the glitch. The mental stress of the previous situation gets literally washed away by what's happening right now. And the question is, do you want to spend your last control point to re-roll this, or do you want to take the 4 glitch dice that come with success or cost?
I'll take the 4 glitch dice. Here's how I think it plays out. So I arrogantly watch this wave of water of this spinal fluid come towards me, whip out my little raft, pop it open, lean back towards the wave as it hits, and I'm just perfectly, just scooped up, right? Everything goes exactly how I planned it, how I over planned it. But as that raft is lifting up, it's lifting up a little close to the giant, and it snags on one of those shards, and a hole just rips open in the side of it.
So you start like spinning out and around, and your arm splashes in the cranial fluid and it gets electrified, and then your leg gets, so like you're just taking jolts and shocks. So when all of this clears, you're going to be down and just kind of like residually like full body impacts, like your body is sneezing but your mouth isn't.
Yeah, soaking wet, miserable.
Yep.
And just beating the heck up.
All right, and Mjolnir.
Heck. I think I didn't get the moment, like I didn't get the chance to jump on the raft when I wanted to. So when you kind of get shot out from the air being taken out of this inflatable raft, I think it hits me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm winded for a second, but then like she's able to pull themselves up a little bit, and what I would like to do is fix that patch, that hole, and patch it up. However, so like, I think I am gonna have to strip down. Does this raft, is it just, what is the raft? Is it just an inflatable, like is there any moving pieces on it?
It was just, the moving piece, I guess, would be in the like it's just like a pull rip cord, and there's like some sort of air, like an air canister, I guess, would fill it up. So not a lot of moving parts except for that rip cord, really.
Do you have a shirt on I can take?
Do I have a shirt on?
Like a sweater?
Sure. Oh yeah, no. My guy
Jacket?
has abs. Like he is a little wiry, and like he will any excuse to show off the abs. So the second you even look, he's got a little like finger knife and just slits right down the middle of it, peels it off him all wet in abs, and even though he's bruised and beat up, looks a little happier as he hands it over.
There's just something about a slick spinal fluid that really works, you know?
There's
bizarre.
just something
It's
about
like
a
baby
slick
oil.
twink.
All right, so with that, and then I think I'm gonna like strip apart the ripcord for like a thin thread, maybe take apart my glasses, and all of this is happening as like we are getting like, it makes almost like that comical like fart sound as it's like deflating around this space.
Or just going in circles around the giant's legs.
And I'm working to like gotta patch it up. So that might be difficult. What are we thinking?
Well, the difficulty is a static 6 for avoiding
is a
what's going
static
on
6.
here. Yeah, it was 6
Okay.
for everybody.
You're just really good at this.
Oh, well, I'm not using a hammer, that's for sure. Ah, crap. I think this is a broken tool, because like nothing I'm using was ever not broken, almost.
Yeah.
I want a gear for this one, but I have the 1 point for the raft. So that brings me to a 6.
Yep,
But that doesn't scream success, yeah.
Well, you're also using your at-need ability of Breakdown, because you
Thank
are
you.
a member of the Hammer Clan and follower of the Way of the Tinkerer. So you are literally stripping something for parts and looking for the exact combination. I feel like you're just building yourself a shelter at like the foot of the giant. Right? Like you're just like, nope, wall. Okay, panel, thank you.
That's what it starts to look like.
Yeah, cool. So that adds 3 extra dice to your pool.
Fabulous.
So that will take you to a 9 to try and get 6 hits.
I feel slightly more confident now. But you know, the dice will tell.
1,
That's
2.
2.
That confidence was misplaced.
Yep.
So, like a ROM, you can take the 4 glitch dice, or you can spend a control point.
Ooh, I have 2 control points left. I'm gonna spend a control point.
Okay. Roll 7 dice.
Okay,
And
thank
what
you.
detail are you going to use to highlight to...
I mean, time is pretty relevant. Your choices are the future you seek.
Looking at Elif like towering over you now and being like, no, I need some of that. Come here.
You just
Give me
start
some of that
taking
energy.
pieces of the leg off. Just
Mhm.
Time is of the essence. So I'm so sorry. That was 7 dice.
Uh huh.
-2, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Hmm.
1,
One
One.
explodes.
but it explodes.
Uh huh.
Oh, come on! I need
Come
another
on,
6.
straight
Come on,
explode.
6.
Oh wow, the complete opposite
Yeah.
of a
Yep.
6.
So you are going to take some glitch dice from this. You're going to take
Yep.
3 of them, to be precise. Your shelter is like you build it up fine, but there's a lot going on right now, and there's just too much. There's too much liquid, and it sloshes over you and sloshes around and leaks in this side thing, and it's almost like the Looney Tunes thing where you're like bam and cover a thing, and then your other hand bam cover a thing, and then your foot cover a thing, and then another arm comes from somewhere, and you're like, but then like too many leaks, and the thing like breaks down around you, and not quite to the degree that Rune did, but this liquid hits you, and you're jolted and staticked. As all of this fades away, like the torrent is enough to take the rest of the loose debris from the giants forming. There are still like pock marks and holes in the floor and panels missing from the wall and whatnot, but it's like it was designed. The liquid came in these 4 vents that are sort of low to the floor on each side, and as it all flows in, there's like a humming sound as it's all pulled back out, and like the gelatinous nature of this stuff clears everything away. It's like an ooze came through and swept the entire space, and then there's a deep clunk that you feel in the whole room, and a circle opens up about 50 feet away from you, and you can hear like the mechanism of almost an elevator rising up. And when it gets up there, the entire space is like the elevator panel is probably 10-15 feet wide, and there's just a person standing on it. They're wearing like these sort of off gray ceremonial robes with like a little insignia on the collar. It's the symbol of Mimir. It's pretty evident, and this looks like an archivist, but the archivist sort of stands there with their hands in front of them, almost like a bodyguard pose, right? And then gets down on one knee and presses a hand to the disc they rose up on, and a very clean, precise version of what happened with Eluf happens here as well.
Right.
Where the panel begins breaking down, but it's like there were invisible seams and the components were designed to affix here and affix here. It's not the amalgamation that you see in Fritjolf standing in front of you. It's like a mecha is being built.
Oh no.
As apparently one of the subjugated giants has either been forced or by choice has bonded itself to this archivist. And we now have a moment where I'm going to duplicate this slide, and we are going to go to slide 18.
Yes.
And we are going to make the threat of the archives bone bonded.
Okay.
The way that this works is we add details just like everything else, but this in and of itself is a major threat, just like the lock was. The difference is, though, that after each of you have taken your first action of the encounter, you all are also responsible for telling me what the threat itself does. And it gets one action, one response per player. And it does not roll dice. I don't roll dice for it. There are no dice involved on its end. It just assigns glitch dice to you based on what it does, that you then have to roll on your next action in combination with any other glitch dice that you may have accrued from your own. So, the archives bone bonded. I need to know from